Hi, everybody. Happy Friday and happy Arbor Day to all of you who are at home. I decided to broadcast from a tree today. Love those Zoom backgrounds that you can use. So we are going to work on our focus on the Fairbook, and today we will focus on the environmental education and earth science categories that I spoke about last Wednesday. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And first we'll start at the Polk County website. So of course it's polk.unl.edu, and then come down to the top tab, the Polk County 4-H, the 2020 Polk County Fairbook. So if you haven't been on the Fairbook in the last couple days, I have updated it and made it hopefully a little more user-friendly for you, a little easier to use, so everything's not quite so spread out. All the categories are up there that will be in the Fairbook, and I am currently continuing to work on getting those posted and hoping by early next week that will be done. But we will go ahead and we will click on some of our projects. The first one is Conservation, Wildlife, and Shooting Sports. And again, going through, there are a lot of wildlife projects that we don't have people exhibiting in, but I know a lot of people have interest in. So here's some displays, and then there's information that goes along with them. Wildlife tracks. So if you're interested in learning how to do plaster of Paris track casts, I will look up some information on that too if you don't have the book at home. But and a wildlife diorama, so you can take a box and make a kind of a habitat where some wildlife might live in the habitat that they live in. An essay, so if you don't have any supplies at home, here's an essay that you can work on about wildlife on the farm or in town or in your backyard, or a backyard bird feeder even works. So even some art projects, if you're working on something that has to do with wildlife with arts, whether that be paintings, photography, wood carvings, duck decoys, songs, or poems, you can go ahead and enter something in that category. So some different exhibits that maybe people don't associate with a wildlife project. So again, going into wildlife habitat, you can make houses, feeders, waters, and then a wildlife habitat design. Harvesting equipment, so you can make a display on fishing knots or fishing hooks. Building a fishing rod. My kids were very active in that project, and if you're interested in something like that, it is time consuming, but I can sure share the resources with you, where to get started and where to get your materials from. It's a really fun project that my kids really enjoyed. Again, a casting target and some harvesting board exhibits. Taxidermy, if you know how to do something like that. And then for all of you who used to be in the shooting sports project, but we don't have an active one right now, there are still some categories, some exhibits that you can enter in FAIR if you want to do something with shooting sports, even though we don't have that in-person club. But so this would be a good thing to check out if there's anything that you're interested in doing on that. And then our other natural resources, that's where you will find the new geology project. So I showed everybody the book and some of the information from the geology project. This is one of the one and only exhibit for it this year, but they're working on adding some categories for next year. So if you have any questions, let me know on that. And again, here's where you can purchase those resources or any of those curriculum items. So going down to forestry, again, forestry, great for Arbor Day. There's some design your own exhibits. You can do a leaf display, a twig display, seed display, where you collect all those and you make display boards. All the information is here. There's the parts of a tree, and that's for the younger kids, but that's kind of a nice one you can tie into science. And then the living tree. And if anybody's interested, I do have some catalpa seed that I would love to share with you. I could send in the mail to you, and you could plant your own tree. They're easy to get started. They grow really well. And it's kind of a fun project to do at home during the summer. And you could take that tree to fair and to state fair. So going down a little bit farther, we have the physics, the power of wind project. Again, there are some fun exhibits if you're interested in solar energy or any kind of energy, alternative energy, with all the windmills going up in Nebraska. So that's got some projects attached to that. And then there is also the range project. So again, if you're interested in range, learning more about Nebraska range, here's some exhibits that you can participate in also. So I shared with you the other day on the Clover Kids about the Pinterest page that we have for Polk County 4-H. So here's our page. I've added an environmental education and earth sciences board, and so some of the links that I put on the Focus on 4-H are also linked on here. But I wanted to share with you the 4-H Power of Wind. So if that's something you're interested in, and if you would click on it, it would take you to this page. But there's a lot of free materials that you can download and a lot of free projects in engineering and wind to make either a pinwheel or just some fun activities learning more about the wind and how it works. So if you're interested in that, again, these are all free resources. Feel free to click on that and learn more about it. So one of the other things, if you decide to do like a leaf display or for forestry, you can go into the Nebraska Forest Service project page, and then going down there you can do the What Tree Is This from the Nebraska Arbor Day Foundation. So it'll help you step by step figure out what tree you have. That will be very important for your project. So if you have any questions, let us know, and have a great Arbor Day. And if you have a chance and you have a tree, go plant it. We will see you next week. Thanks.